So this is week 3, and as I pointed out a little bit earlier, what we're doing is moving through these 5 skandhas. So we had form, and then we had feeling, and so this week we look at perception. And we're looking at perception in terms of the 5 senses. So in some ways these overlap a little bit with what we've been doing already. So for each of the 5 senses there is a specific activity to do. So we begin with seeing. And so you look at an object in front of you, and then in stillness, without thoughts, until you experience a separation of the object, which is outside, and the experience of the object in your mind. Okay? So the difference between that actual object and the experience of the object in your mind. So similar to what we've done before, just a little bit of a different twist. And as we do these kinds of things over and over and over again, then we get better and better at understanding that difference and that separation of samsara from nirvana. And then we do it with hearing. Listen to a sound, and then in stillness without thoughts, until you experience the separation of the sound as outside and the experience of the sound in your mind. Okay? The difference between the actual experience, which is going on in our mind, and the sound itself, which we perceive as being outside. Smelling. Smell something in stillness and without thoughts until you experience the separation of the smell and the experience of the smell. And then taste. Taste something in stillness without thoughts until you experience a separation of taste and the experience of the taste. And then touching. Touch something in stillness without thoughts until you experience the separation of the touch and the experience of the touch. So for each one, there's an external sensation that we perceive, but then you have to get in touch with the fact that that's really going on in your mind. Okay? So that's the practice as we go through here. And then the transcendental part of it, abide softly and deeply then in rigpa, pure awareness, beyond thoughts or concepts, even emptiness. So whatever arises is the manifestation of mind. It abides, it self-liberates, let go and let be. No attachment, no aversion. So at the end of this, after you've gone through these, and again, like we've done with the other ones, you can either focus on just one and go through it several times, or you can go through all 5 of these in your one practice session. And then, but at the end of the practice session, then you just let go of everything and rest in this state of rigpa. Without thoughts, just let it be. And then in terms of post-meditation, when you've completed the practice, maintain a sense of separation between the perceptions and the actual experience in your mind as you go about your day. Right? Remind yourself over and over and over again. And as we know from psychology, in order for the positive things to stick, reward yourself. You know, every time that you do this, you remember to do this, then reinforce that by thinking about it for at least 20 seconds. It takes at least 20 seconds of thinking about something good that you did in order for it to stick in your memory. Bad things stick instantly, but good things don't. You have to remind yourself and you have to stick with it, and the research shows it takes at least 20 seconds for that to happen. So stick with that, keep reminding yourself, yeah, I remembered, I did good. Pat on the back. And so do that, and then continue then to remind yourself as often as you can throughout the day. Just remembering to do that is a good thing, okay? Remembering, oh yes, I need to separate those two. That's a good thing. So reinforce it and remind yourself of it as much as you can. So just a little bit different than what we've been doing, but very similar in many ways as well.